Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Okay, why I chose this topic of why and how to chant? Because there's a problem. And the problem is the backbone of ISKCON is chanting, and chanting is out. Many chant, many don't chant, many try to chant. But the point is, if you don't know how to chant and why to chant, you can chant for millions of lives. Nothing is going to happen. Chaitanya Prabhu said, "Bhau janma jadi kare, shravana kirtan, tabu to na paye Krishna pade prem dhan." So if you don't know how to chant properly, then you might be committing offenses which you yourself don't understand. We are ourselves not aware of what we are doing. For example, not to advance in devotion is an offense. What do you say about that? It's not there in the list, by the way. But it's an offense because it hurts Krishna that Krishna is giving you so many facilities and you're not using to advance in Krishna consciousness. It hurts that person, am I right? If I give you so many facilities in the company and you don't work, still you don't work, it hurts. Whatever hurts Krishna, that's offense. That's all. So that is why chanting is the most important topic, and I thought let me discuss this, why and how to chant. Okay, before I discuss why and how to chant, let me just show you the types of chanting which we do. You might have done, you might do, I don't know, but you might have seen people doing like this. So these are various types of chanting which people do. I mean to say I have made it up, but it puts the point across. But one type of chanting is submarine chanting. Submarine chanting is, some people like to chant in their mind, alright? Very slow, I mean to say not even audible to himself. You can't. So they are chanting. They're chanting, and then sometime after chanting, then they're and again Hare. It's like somebody, just goes like that. Sometimes we also feel sleepy and you go down, up, go down, up. That's something called submarine chanting. Something is machine gun chanting when you're getting late for office or some work. Most of the time you don't have time and you want to finish your rounds, so you chant like machine gun. Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare. You have heard this? Or you have done this? You just keep on going without understanding what's happening, and because you have to finish your rounds. Am I right? And then you just keep on taking out your feedbacks and see Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Okay, it's like you apply machine and that comes that bullet thing, no? It's crazy. Radar chanting, it's the most common chanting. When you are completely inattentive, you're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, WhatsApp, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Something is happening. You don't know what you're doing. You're seeing there, Hare Krishna. Most of the people do like that. Most of the congregation, 90% congregation, let me say, they do radar chanting. They're not at all attentive. I have seen that. That's why I'm telling. You can see your lives. Maybe you are doing the same thing. I don't know. Electric shock chanting. You have seen this? Do you know what's that? Yeah. You know that. If you go to Vrindavan, you'll see that. Shri Prabhupada Samadhi House. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Oh my God, Prabhu. Just you got a shock or what? You can chant like that, but why to chant like that? You're not fighting with God, am I right? Huh?
When we sleep, then
Maybe it's a usual thing. It's not even without sleeping it goes. People are. And then last is can't chanting. I can't chant. You're trying to chant, but you can't chant. You're trying to chant, you can't chant. You are just fighting in your mind. Most of the people are chanting like that. I'm going to say. It's a fight for now, for us. And it's okay. In the beginning it's like that, but beginning is not the end. And the beginning should end sometimes. Am I right? Otherwise you don't advance. Okay, so that's why I wanted to discuss chanting. So people are chanting like that, and people chanting fast and in mind. And it's Prabhupada's direct instructions here. Prabhupada said, concentrate fully on sound vibration, pronouncing each name distinctly, and gradually your speed in chanting will increase. Do not worry so much about chanting fast. Most important is hearing. Understand? Don't try to chant fast and finish your round. Don't try to finish your rounds. It is said by Jagannath Pandit, he has written a book, Prem Birth, on holy names. And he ends the book, in the last line of the book he writes, okay, I have told you how to chant, why to chant, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But let me just warn you, if you try to finish chanting, chanting will finish you. Do you understand what he says? Because if you try to finish chanting, it's a clear offense. That's all. I mean to say, you finish rounds, but you don't do chanting with the aim that you have to finish and then do something else. That's not the point. You have to chant properly, nicely, or you can take some more time. That's okay. You can postpone some things, or you can plan beforehand. If you can't postpone things, am I right? You have to chant properly. Well, that's the most important thing we are doing in Krishna consciousness. Everything is for chanting. If you remove chanting from ISKCON is finished. It's over. You can have temples, you can have books, you can have everything, but if you remove chanting, everything is over. Am I right? There's no purpose of anything. So, Prabhupada, that's where Prabhupada quotes, Jiva Goswami instructs that chanting a holy name of the Lord should be done loudly. Loudly means not too loudly that whole Calgary can listen. That's not the whole point. You have to speak and hear. Okay, why have to chant loudly? The logic I'll tell you in a minute. But that's the whole point. Chanting is the most important duty. This is very important purport, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. And very important, Prabhupada writes, of the 9 processes of devotional service, Kirtanam is very important. Jiva Goswami therefore instructs that other processes such as Archan, Vandan, Dasyam, Sakhyam should be executed, but they must be preceded and followed by Kirtanam, chanting holy names. We have therefore introduced this system in all our centers. Archana, Aarti, Bhoga, offering, deity dressing, decoration, all are preceded and followed by chanting of holy names of Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. See, whatever you do, you have to chant, right? So it's necessary to learn how to chant and why to chant. First question is why to chant. Why chanting is the most important duty. We can stop deity worship, we can stop making temples, we can stop book distribution, we can stop making prasadam, but we cannot stop chanting. Everybody agrees, no? Am I right? Okay, so why chanting is the most important duty? Let's talk about that. And then I will tell you how to chant. Because if you don't understand why chanting is most important, then you will not be able to chant properly. Because first you have to have that hunger and understanding what you're doing, why you're doing. And then the question comes, okay, now tell me how to do. Am I right? Okay. Why chanting is the most important duty? Let's talk about this. There are a few reasons for that, and the first reason is Bhajne Madhya Shresht Na Sankirtan. Chanting is the best service to the Lord. Can anybody tell why? Why chanting is the best service? Why not deity worship? Why not making prasadam? Why chant? Krishna likes all services. It's not that Krishna doesn't like, but the best thing he likes is chanting. Why? Why is that?
It's a direct glorification of God.
Okay, direct glorification of Lord. Fine. You have to expand a little. I mean to say this very general answer.
For other services like Arti or Prasadam preparation, you have to get some qualification. But for chanting, anyone can be done by anyone.
Chanting is the best service. Well, cleaning of the temple can be done by anyone. You don't require qualification.
Effortless service.
It's a
Effortless service.
well, chanting requires a lot of efforts. Chanting is, I think, it requires a maximum efforts. Internally, I mean, it's not physical, but mental.
Because Krishna resides in the vibration of the sound.
So Krishna resides in the TTO also. Krishna resides in the prasadam also. Krishna resides everywhere. What do you do with that? So chanting is the most important, it's the best service. That's the question. You all are chanting for many years, and I'm going to throw this question to you now.
It confirms faith in Krishna.
Reading can do that.
Is it like Lord
Oh, just a minute, Mataji. Yeah.
Krishna comes and starts dancing on your tongue?
Yeah, if you eat prasadam, he's also dancing on it. Prasadam is Krishna, am I right?
Yeah.
Or not?
Yes.
If you're chanting holy names, Krishna is dancing on your tongue. But if you're eating prasadam, Krishna is dancing in your stomach, on your tongue, in your blood. And then what do? You can keep on eating prasadam and be happy, but that doesn't happen. Chanting is the most important service. Just a minute.
By chanting, we can recognize the importance of all the other services.
By reading also you can do it.
We are connecting directly to Krishna.
By deities.
It purifies and cleanses your soul when you chant.
Yeah, by chanting purifies you. Kirtan also purifies. Right? The prasadam eating purifies you. Prabhupada distributed prasadam, it purifies people. There's something in chanting. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Chanting is the best service because there's something in chanting which other things cannot do. That you have to think. Am I right? Something which chanting can do with deity worship, cleaning, and with Buddhist temples, they cannot do. Only chanting can do.
So,
It's everybody. They think.
is it when you are chanting, the other entities also get purified?
Oh, you distribute prasadam, everybody gets purified. Food for life, they did today.
No, but then food for life, only the person who is eating. When you are chanting, but other entities also receive.
Okay, they are eating by mouth and people are eating by ears. It's the same thing.
Chanting, Krishna can come personally to you, very close to you.
Oh, okay. Deities can come to you. Books are Krishna. So there's a problem there, am I right? Yeah.
Does it captivate most of the mind?
Captivate what?
Most of the mind while you're chanting?
It's a very general answer.
Other services?
I need a in-depth answer. This is very general, am I right?
Yeah.
Somebody can say Kirtanam can captivate, am I right? People find Kirtanam very absorbing, not chanting. They don't chant.
You're awakening your
Good.
consciousness or soul, or within the Krishna within you.
Oh, this is very abstract. What's that, kid? Yeah.
You can do it everywhere.
You can do it everywhere. Prasadam you can eat everywhere.
Like when you're doing other tasks, you don't really have to like.
You can keep a laddu in your mouth, keep on doing other tasks. Isn't it? You can offer a chewing gum to Krishna and keep on doing it. So, I mean to say, other things can also be done, yeah, Mataji.
Nullify your karmas or sins.
Any prasadam can do.
You're interacting with Krishna.
Right.
Okay, I'll tell now. You all, now you don't answer me. Yeah.
So you can only think about Krishna by listening and not focusing on other things when you chant.
Reading also you can do. Okay, so chanting is the best service. This is a question. You understand the question now? Or in other words, the question is, there is something special in chanting of holy names which other things cannot do. Prasadam cannot do, deity worship cannot do, only chanting can do that. And I'll tell you why now here. See this, Prabhupada writes here. Prabhupada says in one of his class, Prabhupada says, he is offering prayer, my dear Lord, the son of Nanda Maharaj Krishna. Krishna accepted the sonhood of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. So he is very much pleased if anyone addresses Krishna as the son of Vasudev or Vasudev. Vasudev means son of Vasudev. And if someone addresses him, Yashodanandan, Brajarajananjan, he is very happy. Because when you address Krishna in relationship with pure devotees, he's very nice, he's very happy. Now you understand the answer?
Yes.
You got the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Chanting Radharani's name along with
Relationship.
See, you do any other service. That's what you want to say? What?
You can do that and Kirtan too, right?
No, okay, I'll talk to that point, but I'm saying. Kirtanam and chanting I'm including together now here. Chanting of holy names. That I'll differentiate. You can ask me later. So the whole point is in cooking, in deity worship, in cleaning, in good distribution temple, what happens is you are trying to offer service to Krishna, but his attention is coming on you. Am I right? Krishna, please, please, please bear me. But when you are chanting, you are not actually directing attention of Krishna on yourself. You are directing Krishna's attention on whom? On Radharani. Hare Krishna, am I right? And that's when Narottam Das Thakur says, Radha Name Gane Bhai Krishna Chandra Pai. Krishna Name Gane Radhika Charana Pai. So when you say Hare, Krishna becomes pleased. When you say Krishna, Radha becomes pleased. When you say Hare, Krishna's attention goes on Radha. When you say Krishna, Radha's attention goes on Krishna. When you say Hare Krishna, then both start remembering their own pastimes. So chanting is a way where we don't direct attention of God on us. We are directing attention of God on God Himself. It's a way to remember Krishna, to make remember Krishna's own pastimes. And that's why it's most special, because Krishna forgets everything. When he starts remembering his own pastimes, he forgets. It happens with us also, am I right? We have sweet memories, no? You all have. You all click, have albums, and then sometimes you sit and see that album, marriage album, or maybe marriage album. I don't think so. People see. I don't know. It's over. It's a sweet dream gone. So maybe you go to Hollywood somewhere and you have pictures in your phone, and then people see. Am I right? And they enjoy that. So similarly with Krishna, when Krishna remembers his pastimes, what he had done 5,000 years ago in Vrindavan and Dwarka, he feels so nice. Especially when he starts remembering his pure devotees. And especially when he starts remembering Srimati Radharani. Radha remembers Krishna. I mean to say, Krishna starts remembering you. Will you be happy or not? Yes? You can say yes for that. So think and speak. If Krishna remembers us, will you be happy? Yes or no?
Yes.
Well, if you're a devotee, what answer you will give?
Because we don't.
If you're a devotee, then I think the answer should be no and yes both. Krishna is okay because we are doing something, but he's not really happy because we are doing so much offenses, faults. Am I right? You can see that. So he's okay with us. When he's thinking of us, he's okay. But when he's thinking of his devotees, Nand Baba, Yashodama, then he's dancing. Am I right? He's very happy. He forgets himself. That's what it happens. And that is what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation. He forgets himself. Am I right? And that's the whole point. Devotion is all about making Krishna supremely happy. What is devotion? Devotion means to make Krishna, Prabhupada says, satisfy Krishna in all respects. Am I right? The person whom you love, you want to make him supremely happy, not happy, supremely happy. That's why parents are so much concerned about their kids, and they actually wish the best for their kids, not just the good thing, but they want my son should be the best. Am I right? Similarly, devotees. So, you see the point? There's a difference between chanting and other services. And that is why, as Prabhupada says, with all services you should do what? You should chant. All services should be accompanied with chanting. When you're cleaning, keep on chanting. When in deity worship, we are doing chanting. Chanting in form of japa or kirtan. Isn't it? We are chanting the holy names. When you're cooking, keep on chanting. You know why? Now you know the answer why? Why?
It's clarifying Radharani's connection.
Because when you're doing some service, Krishna starts thinking about you. But we don't want Krishna to really think about us. We want Krishna to think about his devotees. So we keep on chanting. So when you clean the floor, suppose you start cleaning the floor, Krishna starts thinking about you. Oh, this is a devotee in Calgary and cleaning the temple. Okay, good. And then Krishna's attention is on you. Am I right? So as a servant, as a devotee, as a servant of God, we have to now make our master happy. So how do you do that? So, okay, Krishna, please start thinking about your devotees. Hare, and how to do that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You start thinking, and then Krishna starts thinking about you, and then you keep on chanting, and then Krishna suddenly forgets you and starts thinking about devotees. That's what we want. He becomes very happy. When he becomes happy, automatically the soul becomes happy. Am I right? When super soul is happy, soul is automatically happy. That's a connection. And you feel bliss. So if you do a service and if you don't chant, then what happens is that will not do a complete devotional service. Am I right? So chanting is the best service. Now you got the point? So always keep on chanting. Because if you don't chant, you see in South India what happens. People are doing deity worship. We have seen South India people do worship, people have darshan. Then suddenly, if they do some fault, and they realize it, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. They have heard that? Yes. They put their ears and say. So Rupa Goswami also says, if there is any fault in service, that can be nullified by chanting. Easily. Because now you're directing Krishna's attention to himself. That's fine, okay. So that's why we chant. Chanting is the best service. That's why Mahaprabhu says, you know that verse? Khaite shuite. You know all. Khaite shuite yatatata nam loe. Walking, eating, sleeping. Whatever you do, keep on chanting the holy names. Simple. Simply have to move your mouth. At least starts with moving your mouth. Well, there's something else. Okay. Next point, why chanting is important is, you see this? Aparad Bhanjan. Chanting destroys sins and offenses. And the example is given of a king. This is a king, by the way. Example is given of a king. So if a king is very happy, suppose the king goes to the war and he wins the war and he comes back and he's very happy. And somebody brings a criminal to him. Oh my dear king, this is a criminal, punish him. What do you do? He'll say, today I'm very happy. Release everyone. Am I right?
Yeah.
Release everyone. That's the whole trick. When Krishna sees us, he's God. Remember that. He's not an ordinary person, first of all. You have to always remember he's God. When he sees, he sees. And he sees everything. Everything means everything. Your mind, intelligence, soul, all your births in 1 second. So as soon as you come in front of altar, something serious is happening. It's not that you're coming and you're going down and you're going back and nothing has happened. Something serious has happened. And as soon as you come here, you see, you go in the airport, there's a scanning thing. What's that called? In security? What's that? I forgot a special name of that scan. B scan or something. Security check. So it scans you. So when you come in front of Krishna, Krishna's eyes scans everything. It scans all your births, all your sins, all your offenses. Because reality cannot be hidden from Krishna's eyes. He's not an illusion. He's not an illusion. Nobody can hide. So he sees all offenses, all sins. Now here is a problem. If he sees all sins and all offenses, mind you, Krishna is a king of all kings. Am I right? Bhagavatam says that. Janmadyasyata nivaditratasya abhigye swarat. He is a samrat, and he judges. He is doing judgment also. So now you see, he sees all your sins, all your offenses, and if he comes to judgment, what happens? We all will go to hell. Am I right? So that is why Krishna says, okay, when you come in front of me, chant my names. If you chant my names, I'll be happy. Just like a king. When I'm happy, then what I'll do? Forgive all the sins. All the offenses. I'm very happy, Yes, I don't want to think about all these things. Forgive him. That's what happens. That's why by chanting, you make Krishna happy. And when Krishna becomes happy, he forgives all your faults, all your sins, all your offenses. That is a trick. That is why chanting will purify you of all the sins. Am I right? You might have heard chanting purifies all sins, all offenses. Why does it do that? Because it makes happy, and in a happy mood, you tend to. It's with parents also, am I right?
Yes.
If you're very happy and if your kid does something, mess up, no problem, okay. But if your mood is off, and even if he's sitting quietly, he will get something. You will have tough time. You say, I didn't do anything. God, what I got? Oh, because you're off. Said the same thing. Okay, so Cheto Darpana Marjanam. You see that? We all speak Cheto Darpana. It cleanses the heart of all sins and offenses. Why? Because it makes Krishna happy. Why does it make Krishna happy?
Because we remove his fasting.
Why does he make Krishna happy? Chanting of holy names? Because chanting of holy names make Krishna remember about himself. He remembers his own pastimes. And he becomes so happy. It's with us also. If I, suppose if I come to your house, and if I start telling you my pastimes, okay, Prabhuji, you know what, I went to, last year I went to New York, and then I went to Boston, and then I did that. Then after some time, what will happen? You will get bored. Right? You don't want to listen about me. But if I start talking about you, then you will say, oh, okay, keep on speaking. So that's what Krishna. When you chant, he thinks about himself, he becomes so happy. Yeah. Okay, fine. That is why chanting cleanses your heart. It destroys. That is the Chetodarpana Marjan. That's it. Okay. The third reason why chanting is important is because Kirtana Prabhave Smarana Hobe. Hoga. So, Kirtan Prabhave. So when you chant properly, what happens is you start becoming pure. Am I right?
Yes.
I just told. Why you become pure? I've told. He becomes happy. When you start becoming pure, Krishna gives you a gift. Krishna has many gifts. And the first gift he will give is, what is that? remembrance of Krishna, his qualities and pastimes. You know why? He makes you remember about him, his qualities, his pastimes. When you chant nicely, you become pure, and when you become pure, he will give his remembrance. You know why? There is a verse in Gita. Iyathamam. You have heard that? What's the meaning?
I reciprocate.
Krishna says, what you do with me, I will do the same with you. Am I right? An eye for an eye. You know that? So, in chanting, what we are doing? We are trying to make Krishna remember his pastimes. Krishna says, okay, you now made me remember, and now I will make you remember about myself. Same thing. If you glorify Krishna, Krishna will glorify you. If you glorify Krishna, Krishna will make sure you will be glorified all around the world. If you blaspheme Krishna, God, he will blaspheme you. You know how? Oh, blaspheme you understand everybody. No? Blaspheme, how do we say criticize? If you criticize Krishna, if you criticize God, then what Krishna will do? He will blaspheme you. You know how? What's the greatest blasphemy? He will blaspheme you. Of course, he will not come out of altar and start shouting at you. He will blaspheme you. You know how? By giving you death. Death is the greatest blasphemy for soul. As a spirit soul, we don't die. Am I right? We are eternal. We are eternal and we have to die. We have to experience death. What greater blasphemy is it? Am I right? I mean to say, you are saying that you are selling a $1 billion car for $100. Isn't it blasphemy of that car? Am I right? If you sell a Rolls Royce for 100 rupees, what will happen? Actually, it happened in Punjab once. This person, actually in Patiala. So this king of Patiala, so you know Patiala, no? India. So in King of Patiala, he asked some help from Rolls Royce person. Who was that person? Rolls Royce. Who was that person? Who invented Rolls Royce? So that person, they asked that company, Rolls Royce company, okay, please help me. We have some financial problems, and he was his friend, some connection. They didn't help him. They say no. So what he did was, he actually bought Rolls Royce from him. He said, okay, no problem. I'll buy Rolls Royce. He bought 20 Rolls Royce. And then you know what he did? He put jhadu. You know jhadu? What's that? Brooms in front of Rolls Royce. And then in the back seat he put dustbins. And then he was using Rolls Royce to clean the road of Patiala. He made Rolls Royce as a dustbin thing, and it was such a big news. And these people in America, they were saying, "My God, it's such a blasphemy of a car. It's such a valuable car, and if he does like this, whole value goes down." And then he says, "No, okay, we'll agree to your policy." That's the whole point. Soul is eternal. Satchit Anand. And here Krishna says, you blaspheme me, I will blaspheme you. I will make you experience death. That's a blasphemy of soul. Am I right? You condemn soul by giving death. And that's what Krishna does. People who don't believe in God, they again and again die. Am I right? And they become frustrated. Soul is full of happiness, and here we are completely frustrated. Am I right? Rolls Royce is the most expensive and you're using it as dustbin. It's the same thing. So that's why Krishna gives remembrance. So the most important point is, when you chant nicely, nicely is not a nice word. Nicely doesn't mean anything. But when you chant, I'll tell you how to chant. But when you chant in a proper mood, then you become pure. And when you become pure, Krishna actually makes you remember his qualities and pastimes. So you know what? When you become pure and you chant, you practice chanting. One day what will happen is, when you chant Hare Krishna, you remember all his qualities. Krishna is so handsome. Krishna is so, he's so cunning. He's cunning. You'll start remembering that. He's so compassionate and blah blah blah. It will just come in your mind. Again and again. Just like a lover thinks of a beloved. Am I right? He'll chant his name, he'll speak his name. Maybe Juliet, what's that? Juliet Romeo or something? Romeo. Yeah, Romeo. If Romeo would chant Juliet, whatever, he will start thinking about her. Am I right? Immediately. Or if you chant your kid's name, what will happen? He'll start remembering his naughtiness, his socks, or whatever. I don't know what he will do. Mataji will start remembering his socks, his knicker, something when he was a boy. Males will remember something else. Something. Similarly with Krishna. And that is the test of good chanting. I'll come to that point now. So remember, chanting is important because it makes us remember God. Remembering God is the shortest and the fastest way to attain God. In all traditions, by the way. In all traditions. In Christianity, in Islam, everywhere. Invoking the God's name. That is the central part of any theistic religion. Am I right? And तुलसीदास ने भी देखा है हिंदी में कौन सा सुमरे सुमरे नरुत्पारा कलयुग केवल नाम आधार सुमरे सुमरे नरुत्पारा. So that's why a holy name helps you to remember God. It's so nice now. Okay. Holy name also nurtures Shravanam. This counting is wrong. It's fourth point here. Why chanting is important? Because chanting nurtures Shravanam. Shravanam means what? Hearing. Prabhupada writes here. If chanting and following of regulations done sincerely, without offense, all questions and doubtful points of philosophy will be cleared up by realization of Krishna from within the heart of devotee. You see, as a devotee, we hear so many things, but we have doubts. Am I right? Now, many people are here. Now, I might say, okay, if you chant nicely, then you will experience God in your heart. You'll start remembering Him. People might have doubts how this will happen. Or for example, if I say, if you chant nicely, Krishna will take care of you. You might say, no, it's not practical. How He will take care, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So there are doubts. All these doubts Prabhupada says, chanting can help you overcome these doubts. Some doubts, only chanting can help. Intelligence cannot help you. You see, doubts are of two types. Some doubts are intellectual doubts, logical doubts. You can solve by logic. Some doubts are beyond your intelligence. You cannot solve by logic. For example, you all know you are not this body, you are soul. Can you solve this doubt intellectually? No. Am I right? This is not an intellectual thing. By intellect, you have to understand you are not this soul, you are not this body, you are soul. But beyond this, you can't do anything. You have to experience it. Until unless you experience, there's a doubt. We all have a doubt. Maybe 0.5%. But we have a doubt because nobody has experienced himself separate from. Am I right? Has anybody experienced himself separate from body? It's after 30 years of devotion, you will understand it's almost impossible to do that. It's very difficult to understand you're not this body. And that is why Srila Prabhupada, all his lectures, he was just saying one point. Am I right? You're not this body, you're not this body, you're not this body. And I mean to say, when we joined ISKCON, then I was thinking, why Prabhupada is speaking the same thing? Not this body, not this body. But after so many years, now we realize that is the point which will not solve so easily. Am I right? We don't, I mean to say, who knows? You're not this hand, it's so difficult to understand. We don't have experience of that. So, chanting can do that. Hare Krishna. Chanting can actually solve those doubts which are beyond intelligence. Or for example, we say holy name of God is Krishna Himself. Am I right? Krishna is Krishna's name Himself. So, well, we all know, but do you know? You might have got some kind of experience, but you don't have 100% realization of that. Am I right? Krishna is Krishna's name is Krishna Himself. So there are some doubts which are beyond human capacity to solve. You can't do that. You can become scholar, but you'll not be able to do it. And that chanting can do. That is why chanting is very important to solve some doubts. For example, here's a doubt. Krishna is brahmachari, but Krishna is also Krishna told gopis, I am brahmachari. Gopis were laughing. You're brahmachari. Because they know, what they see. So there's a problem there. Krishna is brahmachari, but at the same time Krishna is playing with gopis. So if he's playing with gopis, how is brahmachari? But if he's brahmachari, how is playing with gopis? But he's doing both. Now this is a doubt. This is a contradiction. Some doubts are beyond your intelligence. Some doubts are impossible to solve because it's a contradiction. Am I right? It's a contradiction. And this kind of doubt you cannot solve by intelligence. When you chant, and you will experience Krishna, then you will understand Krishna can do both. He's God. He can play with gopis, he can do, and simultaneously he can remain Pakka Brahmachari. He can do that. How? You will experience after some time. Because that relationship with gopis and Krishna is absolutely pure. There's no selfishness there, there's no lust. Now how do you understand that Krishna and gopis there's no lust? You can't understand this, am I right? This is not understanding. Prabhupada says this is something beyond human calculation. And it is a transcendental mystery, Prabhupada says. It's a mystery how Krishna and gopis are dancing and there's no lust. There's absolute purity. And Prabhupada says if you can crack that mystery, you go back to God. If you crack the Ras Leela, you go back to God. But to crack it, that's the whole thing, And to crack that, the key is chanting. It's not intellectually, you can't do anything. It's impossible. If you try to intellectually understand all these gopis and Krishna, you will fall down. Your mind will become confused and contaminated or something. You yourself will become gopi or Krishna something. You will have your own gopis maybe after some time. Something is going to happen. Weird. So please chant. Chanting, reading and hearing can take you to a certain level. But after that there's a block. Chanting will lift you up. Okay. Why chant? Because chanting, here is a point. You know this hierarchy, 3.42, there is senses, above senses is mind, above mind is intelligence, above intelligence is soul. You know this verse from Gita? What's that verse? Anybody? Indriyani parani ahur, indrevya paramana, manasastu parabuddhir parasastu hisa. So you see the point. You have to see here, not there now. Haribol? Otherwise, I understand. I'll tell you when to see that. So Krishna says, you are this body. At the lowest platform, there's body. Above body is what?
So,
Mind. Above mind is intelligence. Above intelligence is soul. We all are made of these things. Now Krishna says, renunciation makes senses strong. Our senses are very weak. Am I right? Do you agree or not? We are weak.
Yes.
Why do we say senses are weak? My eyes are weak because I need spectacles, but at the same time our senses are weak because senses are tempted in this material world. Am I right? You will not be able to control it. Your eyes, your tongue, your ears, you can't control it. They are tempted. So they are very weak. Whatever you present to senses, it will go behind. You try to stop, no, it will not listen. So they are weak. How do you make the senses strong? By renunciation. Renunciation means what? Vairagya. Vairagya, you understand? Vairagya. That's why spiritual people, they practice certain rules and regulations. So it helps to make senses strong. Okay, you get strength, not to be tempted. Rules and so renunciation. Okay. Renunciation means staying away from sense objects. Am I right? Rules and regulations of devotional service, they strengthen the mind. In devotion, there are some rules, no? Am I right? For example, you have to offer to God and eat. Or for example, you have to chant this number of rounds, or blah blah blah. So those will strengthen your mind. People who don't follow rules and regulations, their mind is very weak. And afterwards they fall down. Philosophy will strengthen intelligence. People who don't understand philosophy, people who don't read books, people who say, okay, chant and be happy and don't worry about anything. Why to read so much? Why to hear so much? Am I right? That's most of the people are on this page. Oh no, we don't want so much philosophy. No, forget it. Prabhuji, let's do kirtan. Okay, we can do that's nice. But if you don't understand philosophy, your intelligence will be very weak. And you know what will happen? Maya will confuse you after some time. See, Maya is not a kid. Do you think she's a kid? Do you think if you are staying in the temple, she will leave you? She will not leave you. Because she is inside you. If you are in altar, there also she is there. Even if you embrace Krishna, still she is there. You can't get rid of her. She's everywhere. So you can't get rid of illusion. And she'll do her best to actually confuse you. And she's the best. Alright? She's simply the best. Nobody can defeat her. If she thinks, okay, let's see, okay, so what's his name, Prabhuji's? Oh, you are, okay, you can come yesterday. Oh, so you can come yesterday, so I'll talk about it. So if she thinks that Adi Prabhu should fall down, and if she puts his name in the list top, can he be saved? It's impossible. If she decides something, nobody can save him because she is energy of whom? Krishna. Don't forget that. She is very powerful. So now you know what? Now Maya is not actually trying to. Maya is actually not thinking about us now. Because if she starts thinking about us, none of us will be. In our list, we are not there. So we are a little safe. And we are egoistic. Yes, I am devotee. Nothing is happening to me. But yeah, nothing is happening to you because Maya is not now put your name in the list. That's why. She's not after you. But you know what? When you start advancing, then you become a threat to Maya. That's what. In Bible, Christ, it says, Saint John, Baptist John, his guru, Baptist John says, Christ is a threat to Satan. That's why Satan will try to demolish him at any cost. Am I right?
Yes.
So we are like kids. So Maya says, okay, chalo abhi karne do, baad mein dekhenge. We'll see later. Now, anyway, he's not even a threat to me. He'll himself fall down after some time. He's crazy. They can't even chant 16 rounds. What they can do. Forget that. She doesn't really care about us. Because we are not in the game now. We are actually not in the game. We are standing on the side. We are trying to jump and walk and do something. We are not in the race. People who advance, they are in the race. So, what happened? It's gone. So, okay, so that's the point. So, chanting, philosophy strengthens so your intelligence should be very sharp to actually distinguish between Maya and Krishna, am I right? Because Maya will come in form of Krishna, form of devotees. Am I right, Anand? Comes in form of devotees and then devotees become confused and there's a problem there. So intelligence in Sanskrit, it's called what? What is intelligence called in Sanskrit? Can you tell? Buddhi? Yeah, Buddhi, it's called Buddhi, but here it's something else. Intelligence in Sanskrit, especially in devotional line, it's called Vivek. Vivek?
Yeah.
Vivek is different from Buddhi. Engineer is Buddhiman, but not Viveki.
Yeah.
Doctor, engineer, scientist, they're Buddhiman, but their Vivek is zero. Because Srila Prabhupada said, they're so big scientists, so big doctors, engineers, but they can't understand this simple point that they are not this body. Simple. They can't understand a simple point that this world is full of miseries. So that means they don't have Vivek. Vivek in English is called wisdom. And you can be knowledgeable, but at the same time you can be unwise. Am I right? That's a good point. So philosophy gives you wisdom, not just knowledge. There's a difference between that. And chanting strengthens your soul. Now that's where chanting goes. Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita purport, even though the soul is a master of intelligence and mind, sense is also still, unless it is strengthened by association with Krishna and Krishna consciousness, there is every chance of falling down due to agitated mind. Soul, if is not strengthened, everything crumbles down, because soul is on the top. Soul is on the top. If the head is weak, everything becomes weak. Am I right? So even if you are doing vairagya, following rules, regulations, understanding philosophy, and doing all the services, and if you're not chanting, what happens is your soul remains very weak. And if your soul is weak, then slowly everything becomes weak. You fall down. Your enthusiasm goes down. Once your enthusiasm goes down, everything finishes. Am I right? That's why chanting is very important. Keep on chanting. If you cannot do anything, at least chant. Alright? If you cannot clean, if you cannot do deity worship, if you cannot take prasad, if you cannot read books, whatever it is, at least chant. And if you can't chant properly, at least chant. At least move your mouth. Yeah, at least make a sound. Hare Krishna. Of course, at least you have to do this. But of course, by doing at least, you don't attain perfection. But at least you begin the game. Am I right? Something starts. Okay, so chanting is in the soul. And the next, what happened? It's not going. Oh, I think this is okay. Fine. Yeah, I think that goes like that. I don't know. Nothing is happening. Can you just see? Okay, so the next point, why chanting is important is because chanting is a means to reciprocate with the love of God, the love of Krishna. Am I right? Krishna loves us. Is it correct or not? God loves you. Am I right? You love God. Am I right? Not necessarily. We might love him or not love him, but he always loves us. Mamaya Vamsha Jeevato. So he loves us, am I right? You're okay with that? So you have to reciprocate with that love, isn't it? If I love you, and if you don't love me, how will I feel? I'll feel so hurt, am I right? So Krishna loves us, we know. So now we have to reciprocate with his love. Otherwise, Prabhupada says you are a rascal. You are not even a gentleman. That is why people who don't do devotion, they are actually sinful people. According to scriptures. According to scriptures, I mean to say, if you go to anybody in Canada, if you go to anybody in the world, and you say, Prabhuji, are you sinful? He will say, no, but I'm doing my job, I'm handling my family, I don't cheat, I don't harm others. I'm not evil. Okay, you're not harming anybody, you're not hurting anybody. In America, there's so much, no? Don't hurt anybody. Love everybody. Their feelings should be, positive and positive vibes. Okay, you're so concerned about that. What about hurting God? What about that? Simply because you can't see him, that's why. That's not truth. Come on. You can't see him, he can see you. And he loves you. And you're hurting him by not reciprocating his love. So, basically, we are doing devotion to reciprocate with him. Any gentleman will do that. That is why if you go to any traditional India, traditional culture, before taking food, people used to thank God. Am I right? Yes. Not thank God, no. Thanks to God. Yeah, they used to at least they used to, in my childhood also, my dadi कहती थी, at least भगवान को धन्यवाद, जो whatever it is, भगवान आपका बहुत आपने खाना दिया जो whatever it is. So at least you have to, so that's a good thing because God is maintaining you, He's thinking about you. So to reciprocate with His love. So that's why we chant His name, we serve Him, that's all. So to do devotion or not to devotion, that's not an option. It's not option, it is must. That's why it is called, it is your duty. Am I right? Because it's your duty, because He loves you and you have to reciprocate. Otherwise it's sin. And that is why the most pious person on this earth will go to hell, because he's doing the greatest sin of not reciprocating with God, with His love. And that is why Upanishad says, Atmaha, people who don't do devotion to God, they are killers of their own soul. Am I right? You see this? So, and that's why we chant. Okay, so Krishna loves us. Krishna gives us so many gifts. Just like I just told you, He gives the gift of remembrance. Am I right? I told you. And then second, when you do devotion, you feel bliss, you feel nice. That feeling of nice and peace and satisfaction. People come to temple, they feel satisfied, no? Peaceful. Who is giving that feeling? Krishna. God is giving it. And then after some time, after when you do devotion, Krishna will give you knowledge. So Krishna has many gifts. He will give you the power to control your senses. He will give you so many good qualities. People who connect with God, they have all good qualities. They become humble, they become selfless. People who don't do devotion, they have all bad qualities. I mean to say, people who don't do devotion, even in the goodness there is evil. Because they say we will do good and benefit and this, but at the same time on the base, the intention is selfishness. It's about me. It comes there back. So, Krishna is giving you so much. At least we have to do something. Krishna says, if you can't do anything, at least chant my name. Chanting Hare Krishna is like thanking God. In English we say thank you. In Hindi we say dhanyavad. In Bengali we say what? Dhanyavad. In Urdu we say shukriya. And what? In Germany what is it?
Dankeschön.
Huh?
Dankeschön.
Yeah, Dankeschön. I learned in that school. So in Sanskrit, yeah, okay, dhanyavad. But in bhakti we say what? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna is a way to say thank you to God. You have to have a way, am I right? They have to have a protocol. Everything was with protocol. So the protocol with God and soul is, if you want to say thank you, dhanyavad doesn't work. You have to say Hare Krishna. In computer, if you write thank you, nothing will happen. I mean to say, if you want to program a computer. Programming a computer, you don't write thank you. There's a language, C++ or Java. You can't write thank you there. So there's a protocol. If you want to interact with spiritual world, if you want to thank you, the method is chanting Hare Krishna. So that's why we chant Hare Krishna. So that's why before eating prasad, we say what? Hare Krishna. Or maybe when you do Aarti, after Aarti, we say Hare Krishna. That's why we're singing Hare Krishna while Aarti is happening, because we are saying Krishna, thank you very much. By your mercy, you have actually honored me by giving you darshan. Krishna is honoring us. In his mind, he is honoring us. In our mind, we are not honoring him. It goes like that. He is the humblest of humble. He doesn't think, I am giving you darshan. He says, okay, I'll honor you by giving my darshan to you. He thinks very differently. So that's why we chant. Okay, so you understand all the reasons why we chant. So what are the reasons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reasons. What's that? What was the first? No, first. Oh, you forgot so quick. Come on. Your memory is so weak. Okay, so no prasad for anybody. Why do you forget so early? That's why you should write all. Otherwise you should write. Okay, so the first is chanting is the best form of service. I told you it's the best service to God. Why? Because it makes Krishna remember his own pastimes and he becomes very happy. And the second reason is chanting nurtures. Oh, come on. Aparadh bhanjan. Chanting destroys sins and offenses. Why does it destroy sins and offenses? Because when you chant, Krishna becomes happy. When a person is in happy mood, he relieves, he forgets everything. Okay. Chanting helps you to remember. Chanting brings the remembrance of Krishna because it makes you pure. Okay, chanting solves the doubts in philosophy. It nurtures Shravanam. When you keep on hearing, at a particular level you will be stuck. After that, chanting will take you. And then, what is this, fourth or?
That's fifth.
This
This is fifth.
is fifth. Counting is wrong. Chanting strengthens the soul. And the sixth is, chanting is a method to reciprocate the love of Krishna for us. Simple, that's what we chant. Okay. Now the question comes, how to chant? Can anybody tell how to chant? What's the first thing? If I ask you how to chant, what is the first answer? Okay, fine. Before that, I'll show you something. Okay, how to chant. Let's talk about that. You see this is very interesting what Prabhupada writes here. Revival of dormant affection or love of God does not depend on mechanical system of hearing and chanting. Prabhupada says you cannot attain love by hearing and chanting. And I've just told you about chanting and hearing. So what he's talking about that? Now the word here is mechanical. You have heard Prabhupada said chant and hear. You ever know this?
Yeah.
Chant and hear. Now if you keep on chanting and keep on hearing, keep on chanting, keep on hearing, nothing is going to happen much. Because Prabhupada has said many other things. Prabhupada also said, chant in such a way just like a child's cry. What about that? So simply chanting and hearing doesn't help you grow much. I mean to say, when you're chanting, you have to do something in your mind. That's the main thing, and that's the whole point there. Prabhupada says, advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the fool. Attitude. You see, now, I think it's one of the Goswamis. He's chanting. Alright? Now, something is happening in his mind, in his head, here. Otherwise, you are chanting, I am chanting, Prabhupada is chanting, everybody is chanting. But everybody is not advancing at the same point. Because of the attitude. Attitude while chanting. So you can chant. Chanting will benefit you even if you don't understand. But we are not talking about benefit. The goal of life is to attain love of God. The goal of life is to see Krishna face to face. And that will happen when you chant. When your chanting becomes perfect. So we want perfection in chanting. That's what we are talking about. How to chant. So how to chant is not just moving your lips and hearing. You're doing something in you. And that is why Krishna says, for foolish people, for foolish people, spiritualists appear as fools because they are doing nothing. Am I right? They will say, kya kar rahe ho? Bas baith ke chanting karo. Kuch karo to sahi. Nahi? People say that, no? Do something, go here, go there. But actually they don't understand that we are doing a lot of things in our mind. Something is going on. Now, if simply you are chanting and hearing, and if you are not doing anything in mind, then it becomes very mechanical. Am I right? It is like parrot. You tell parrot, wo parrot nahi bolta Ram Ram. You have to say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And that is why you see Kirtanam. But we do Kirtanam. Now you are talking about Kirtanam, that kid. I don't know where it will go. So Kirtanam, in Kirtanam what happens is chanting of holy names. In Japa, we also do chanting. What is the difference? You know what's the difference? Both are holy name, but in Kirtanam, 50% of our mind is in music. It goes into music. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to say, you have to do Kirtanam, that's okay. But the main thing is Japa. And you see, it's very easy to understand. Kirtanam, for everybody, it's so easy. But Japa is very difficult. And what does Krishna says? Krishna says in Gita, what appears easy first? And later, it's difficult. That is like poison. What appears difficult at first? That is the true path. In general, he says the logic of this world. So why Kirtanam everybody's mind is engaged? Because of music largely. Not just because of holy names. So that is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, okay, you can do Kirtanam, but the main thing is Japa. Chanting on beats. That's where things come. I mean, the people can do 6-hour Kirtan, but if you ask them to chant for 6 hours, after half an hour, he'll be just lying down straight. If he's alone. So that's difficult. That means Japa is a very focused activity. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually never encouraged, he used to do Kirtanams, but He was always focused on japa more. Kirtanam can help japa, but should not replace it. Am I right? That should not happen. But that happens in our things also. The kirtanam. And when it comes to japa, people who are doing kirtanam, they don't chant in their rounds. You see what's happening. People in kirtan melas, they do very nice kirtans and they are doing kirtans all around the world. When you are 16 round chanting, no 16 round chanting. Absolute madness. That's happening. Don't fall in a trap in that. You chant nicely. You understand the difference now? There's a difference there. So, okay, so now how to chant? How to chant means, I am telling you here, I am not teaching you how to move your lips and tongue. That's not the point, how to chant. Now I am telling you what to do in this box. Something you have to do here. Otherwise you are parrot chanting. Doesn't help you. Okay, so now you tell me how to chant. What is the first point you will tell? If somebody asks you.
To pray to Tulsi Maharani, Prabhupada.
No, how? So while chanting you are praying to Tulsi Maharani?
No, like before starting.
No. How? While chanting, what you are doing inside the box? Attentive? Okay.
Thinking of focus.
Okay, being attentive. Okay, fine. But this answer, you know what, I don't like, because you know why? Because being attentive is I'll ask you. Because being attentive is a very abstract thing. I mean to say, I can say be attentive, but then how to be attentive? That's the next question. So it's an answer to actually avoid an answer. In one sense, if you look very philosophically. It is said in science, it's an answer to actually not answer the question. Some answers are like that. Am I right? Big Bang. From where did everything start? Okay, from nothing. It's an answer. But it's an answer to avoid the whole problem, because from nothing, what's nothing? You see the point, it's a play of words there. So that's the whole point. So being attentive, okay, we say that. In general colloquial language we say that. But if you really want to go in depth, this answer is not really satisfying too.
Concentrate on vibration.
Concentrate on vibration.
Remember Krishna?
Well, you'll not be able to remember him.
Why?
You try. Something else will come in your mind. You keep on chanting something else, some weird thoughts will come and something will keep on going. We'll not be able to focus. So that's our point. But the first point is, we don't remember while chanting, because remembrance is a gift of God. I have told you. When you become pure, Krishna gives us remembrance. But if we start remembering from now, artificially, then we will never know whether we have become pure or not. So let it come. Let it come. Let it flow. We just chant, but we have to do something in our mind. Not remember. We don't remember artificially. We don't do that. We wait for the mercy of Lord to descend. And through that mercy, we remember Him. Okay, I'll come to that point. That's okay. Yeah.
While chanting, we should see Radha and Krishna.
Come on, impossible. Never. Don't do that. Don't imagine. Most people are doing that, I know. But you know what happens? If while chanting you imagine Radha Krishna, you are out of Kirtanam and you're out of Kirtanam, you are in Smaranam. You are in a different mode altogether. Imagination will not work here. It's all imagination, am I right?
Yes.
It's not reality. So that means you're putting yourself in illusion. You're doing chanting to get out of illusion. And here you are putting yourself in illusion. Maya will be so happy. Okay, keep on remembering Radha Krishna. You don't do. You can remember Radha Krishna when you're not chanting. That's okay. But while chanting, you are chanting. That's all. If while driving, you keep on hearing phone and something else, there are chances of accident, am I right? While driving, please drive. So that's what Prabhupada said often. This Prabhupada said, don't remember anything, simply chant. But with the proper attitude. That's what I'm asking. But that's a good point you raised, because many people do that, and I wanted to handle this point. Don't remember anything, even if many people suggest that. Remember Krishna while chanting, his images. Many people say that, no? Image of Krishna, don't do that, because you're still on mental platform, it's not on soul platform. You're still in illusion. No acharyas recommend that. Okay, so
Pronounce Krishna and
pronounce Krishna?
pronounce Krishna and Hare sound properly.
No. Proper pronunciation is for kindergarten people. People who are new, we tell them pronounce properly, like Russians, and they can pronounce Hare Krishna. What are they? So then it's like Hare Krishna. Or maybe Chinese, how they chant? Hare Krishna, what they do, I don't know. Something. So like that. So to them we have to teach pronunciation. Well, it's not the ideal thing. I'm not talking about that here. It's over. If you can't chant properly, then please attend a pronunciation class. And this is something else. I'm saying in your head you have to do something. Yeah.
Chant with the intention of developing a relationship.
Something practical. You're right, okay, but I need something else. Okay, I'll tell you. If you've read Prabhupada books.
Chant in devoted mood.
With what?
Devoted mood.
Devoted mood? Well, it's a very abstract answer. Now I have to ask you what's devoted, I have to ask you what's mood, and then I have to ask you how to chant with devoted mood. Your question begs many other questions, am I right? Okay, so you have heard this, come on. Now the Pisunijan is. Everybody's humble, you see. Everybody thinks he's humble. But it's something else. Trinada Pisunijan is completely something else. I'll talk about that. Okay, here's a point. Abhinatvam. Nam. Please don't forget this. And if you chant, the first point you should keep in mind is Krishna's name is Krishna himself. If you forget this, whole program of chanting is zero. Nothing is going to happen. Alright? Prabhupada says, Prabhupada says, as soon as you worship, come to deity, you know Krishna is present. Therefore, we should worship deity with great attention as much as Krishna is present. Similarly, we should worship holy name with great attention. So, you said attentive, hai na? So, how to be attentive? That was my question. You have to chant with the thought that Krishna's name is Krishna himself. You have to chant in such a way that when you are chanting, you have to remember that Krishna is with me. Krishna is with me now. Or I am with Krishna. That attitude should be there. If that is not there, your whole chanting is gone. It's over. You can do anything. Nothing happens. You know this verse, no? Nam Chintamani? You know this verse? Nam Chintamani Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Nitya Mukta Purn Siddho Abhinatvam Nam. You don't know this verse? Come on. Come on, you're not reading Prabhupada books about what's happening here. How many have read Bhagavatam? Oh, yes. Chaitanya Charita I will not ask. Forget it. Gita, how many have read? Okay. How many times? Srila Prabhupada says at least you should read 100 times before you die. Then you can hope to go back to God. It should be on your tips. Am I right? One book, at least one book. Krishna will say, Baba, ek kitab to padh le. Just 700 verses, 18 chapters. That's all you can. So this is, please remember when you are chanting, you are in meeting with God. He's there. You are there and He's there. That's all. And if you have this thought, automatically attentiveness will come. Am I right? Otherwise it will not come. Just like in America, people have conference call, isn't it? So I go to so many people's house and you know it's funny. In America, you're talking to somebody and his phone will come. And he says, Prabhu, conference call. He'll take it and he's talking something else. And he forgets me. He forgets the other person and he is on conference call. And he was just standing, what happened? conference call. And then he'll not talk to anybody, am I right? Even kids, even wife. They're not talking to anything. They're just on conference call. It happens here also. So chanting is like conference call. That's all. You're in direct touch with God. But you have to remember that. Because you will not feel like that. Because you will feel you are simply taking some sound. Hare Krishna, that's all. But that's not what is happening. So you have to remember you're in meeting with God. That's the whole idea. Abhinatvam Nam. This faith you should have. Now here the matter of intelligence is out. Faith comes in, am I right? You can't get this point by intelligence. So no matter how much intelligent you are, you should have faith that His holy names. In fact, in Islam also, Quran, the 99 beautiful names of Allah. You go to any Imam, any Sufi especially, and you ask, what are the holy names of Allah? They'll say it's the holy names of Allah has the presence of Allah within it. They will say that. I mean, this is not the ritualistic orthodox people, but I have many friends who are Imams. I have my friends, and even Christianity they will say that. If you go to Orthodox Christians, Greece Orthodox Christians, they have 72 names of God. If you read Bible, it's all God. That's in English. But if you read Hebrew and Aramaic, they have 72 beautiful names of God. Elohim and Jehovah, Jehovah common name. I was talking to one of my friends. He is from childhood. He's in Orthodox Christianity, and he says when we chant, the most important thing we do is we have to understand God's name is God Himself. And then we chant. It's everywhere. It's like that. Okay, so please remember this. Abhinatvam Nam. So by chanting, you're invoking the presence of God. Okay, fine. So suppose you call a guest in your house. You call a guest, and then what you do is you ask him, okay, please sit, and you go in your bedroom and sleep. What will happen? He'll be pissed off. He'll say, what's happening with this guy? That's what, if you chant, you're invoking the presence of God. And then you're thinking something else. You're sleeping. It's the same thing. You're calling God and you're doing something else. It's a very big offense. That is why the greatest offense is inattentive chanting. Am I right? Mother of all offenses. That's why. Because Krishna will say he's completely mad, psycho guy. He's a maniac or what? Am I right? You do a phone call. Hello, I want to talk to you. And then he's talking to you and then you are putting and eating something. And he's saying, hey, come on, what's happening? Are you listening or not? No. So, if you understand this concept and if you keep it in your heart, you will never be able to actually do inattentive chanting. If you really understand this. Inattentive chanting will be out. You can't do that. Because you know God is there. How can I disrespect Him? How can I sleep? How can I think something else? It's crazy. And that is why you know what devotees do. When they chant, then they're able to forget everything. I mean to say, see, when we chant, what happens? So many thoughts come in our mind, no? Even, I mean to say, when people chant, sometimes they're thinking of services. Alright? Your people are thinking of some shlokas or something and they think, oh, it's so spiritual, but it's complete nonsense. You're getting distracted. That's all. Service is service, chanting is chanting. So, but what do devotees do? When devotees are chanting, they know that Krishna is there with me. And you know what happens? When Krishna is with you, then you don't want to disturb Him. Am I right? And if you don't want to disturb Him, then you don't want to distract Him. It's not your distraction, it is His distraction. And if you think complete nonsense things, He will be distracted. And do you want to distract your master? Your servant or your something else? And especially, you don't want to think anything of material things, isn't it? Suppose your master is there and he gives you a job. Suppose some master is there and he gives you a job. And you are doing that. And your master calls you. Okay, come. So what you will tell to master? Oh, I have this problem, that problem, that problem. I mean to say, if you are some second class servant, you will tell all the problems. But if you are first class servant, what you will do? You will tell your master, you don't have to worry. I will take care of it. Am I right? He will ask, he will tell you, are any problems? Even if you have problems, you will not tell him. No problem, actually no problem, we'll take care of that. You'll be happy. So if you're chanting, you're thinking of so many services, you know what you're doing? You're telling your problems to your master. So you're not first class servant, you're second class servant. If you're a true first class servant, you will not think of anything while chanting except Krishna. Except glorifying him. And Krishna will say, any problems? Krishna, no problems. You'll be happy. There's no problem actually. And now only you and me are there. I'll glorify you and you'll be happy. That's all. Finish. That's how devotees are able to focus their mind on Krishna. And they're able to bring back their mind from distraction. Because they understand that you're meeting with God. You're not meeting with Tom, Dick, Harry. It's not like that. It's not your, what do we say? Bhakti Sandhya used to say, it's not your blue boy or something. It's God. Okay, first thing, how to chant. Keep this in mind. Always remember this. Okay, second thing is, if you want to chant nicely, remember that Krishna is listening. Simple. Prabhupada says this. It's natural psychology in every individual case that a person likes to hear and enjoy his glories and enjoyed by others. That is natural instinct, and the Lord being also individual personality is not an exception to this psychology. Everybody likes to hear his name. Am I right? Especially his name. Especially you will like to hear your name. You might be doing anything. If I announce your name, your attention will immediately come to me. Am I right? That's why in the airport they announce the name, no? Okay, we want immediately Mr. Shing Chong to report. Whatever. He might be busy, but he will immediately connect with that. So remember, when you're chanting his name, Krishna is listening. Whatever he is doing, his mind will come to you. Immediately. He's listening. So if he is listening, see, it's not the point that you are listening or not. The point is he's listening or not. That's more important. Am I right? For a kid, for a child, when he becomes hungry, small child, it cries. Am I right? Or maybe if he grows and he says, Mama, Mama, he shouts. And Mama comes. So, child doesn't understand what he's doing. He's simply shouting, Mommy, 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 Mommy. And he'll keep on shouting unless Mommy will. So that's the whole point. Even it's not the matter you are listening or not. The matter is Krishna is listening or not. If Krishna is listening, and if you are conscious that he's listening to you, then you will also start listening. Alright? Because you hear. Why do you hear? Because Krishna hears. Am I right? Like you're hearing my lecture. Okay, you're hearing my lecture or not?
Yes.
Or not? I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. So you're hearing my lecture, but first this information, this sound is going to whom? To you or to Krishna? Actually, first it's going to Krishna. Krishna is like CPU. First it goes there. And then from him, if first it goes to Super Soul, from Super Soul it comes to Soul. From Super Soul it comes to your olfactory lobes, whatever. And then you start feeling. It doesn't happen directly. Prabhupada, this is Bhagavatam. Prabhupada gives the example. You have eyes, you have object, but if there is no light, you can't see. That light is God. You have ears, you have sound, but if there is no God, you will not be able to hear. Actually, reality is Krishna is listening. And that's why you can listen. If Krishna stops listening, you will all become deaf. That's what Bhagavatam is. Dravyam kalascha karmascha jeev svabhava vacha yad anugraha santi tat santi na upeshaya. The second canto, Krishna says, everything exists by my mercy. You know this, no? Krishna removes his mercy, everything finishes. Because Krishna is seeing everything, we are able to see. If he closes his eyes, he'll become blind. That's how, and pure devotees and liberated souls, they know. But out of false ego, we think, I am seeing. You see, this is false ego. False ego doesn't mean that आपकी मूंछें ऊपर हो रही हैं और आप घूम रहे हो. That's not ego. And neither a person who is on the ground is humble. It's not necessary. Maharaj, pranam. He can't say he's humble or not. Who knows? Ego is that you're thinking you're independent of God. If you're thinking you're hearing me, and if you've forgotten God, if you think without Krishna you can hear, you're egoistic. Simple. You are not Trinadapi. That's what I was saying. Trinadapi Sunicina is very different thing. So a person, a liberated soul, when he's seeing, he's conscious that I can see because Krishna can see. I can hear because Krishna is hearing. I can taste because Krishna is tasting. That's the whole Vedic process. That's Sankhya philosophy in Bhagavatam. They're conscious of this fact. So remember Krishna is listening. When you're chanting, please remember Krishna is listening. Then it will be very easy to listen. Very easy, you can listen. Okay, Krishna is listening. Okay, he's listening. That's okay. That's fine. And the third thing is, chanting is the best glorification. So when you chant, you have to glorify Krishna. This is, anyway, when you chant, you have to at least thank Krishna. Krishna, by your mercy, I am able to chant. Otherwise, you will not be able to chant. That grateful mood should be there. Okay? So that is there. Okay, so that's why to chant, how to chant. Last thing is, and I'll finish here. How do you know that your chanting is good? Now you started chanting, okay? Now you will go home, started chanting. But how will you know that your chanting is your good chanting or bad chanting? To know that, no? Otherwise you are shooting arrows in dark. What's happening? Something should be happening, otherwise you're chanting. And might be you're assuming you are chanting good. But you're not chanting good. Because Krishna will not come and tell you, oh, very good, nice chanting. After 16 rounds, Hare Krishna, okay. Krishna suddenly comes, oh wow, great, nice. And it doesn't happen like that. So you have to know how to know whether we're chanting good or not. Okay, the 3 points, remember that. First point is, this is what I was telling, spontaneous remembrance. We don't remember God while chanting, remembrance will descend upon us. You see descend? That's the word used. Descend upon you. And you will chant with the mood I told you. How to chant? Keep on chanting, you'll become pure and slowly you'll start remembering. Krishna will give you a gift. He will enter your heart. You will start remembering his qualities. And that remembrance will be continuous. Imaginary remembrance, it's like you told, remember? That remembrance will come and go. How much time you will remember Radha Krishna? Sometime you will remember Radha Krishna, after some time some donkey will come, after some time monkey will come, after some time a gas will come, after some time, isn't it? But true remembrance will never go. It will be unfluctuating. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya, Bhagavad Swami says. It will be nitya. It will be perfect. So, if that thing we are looking for, good chanting means spontaneous remembrance. If you're remembering, if remembrance is coming, that means chanting is good. Remembrance is not coming, then you are lacking in chanting, practice more. That's how we understand. You got my point? And then whenever you will chant, you will start remembering. Like this. You don't have to force. Every time, each and every time. It will not come and go. So that's what we are looking for. Okay, so here's a question. If you're chanting and you're feeling very blissful, is it good chanting, bad chanting? Good or bad? Good. Think about that. Not necessary. You know what? People chant, people feel so good, and after that they are doing complete nonsense stuff. Am I right? You will know what I'm talking about. You know as a devotees. How does it happen? If they're chanting and they're feeling so good, why are they doing something complete nonsense and material world happiness is so low, and you again go there? Am I right? That means you're not feeling real bliss. So if you are feeling bliss, it's not necessary your chanting is good or not. You know why? I'll tell you that. Because generally, you know what happens. That's interesting. In a class, a teacher encourages who? A person who comes first or a person who fails? A good teacher will always encourage students who fail. People who are top, that they are okay, They know. So Krishna gives bliss. Krishna is not giving bliss because he's happy by chanting. Because he's fearful that we'll run away. from devotional service. So he gives bliss. At least you will keep on doing something. Am I right? It's a hook. It's not that you're super qualified and he's giving you bliss. No, but yes, something I have to give, otherwise, dena to padega, otherwise you'll run away. So he'll give you bliss. So people who are poor at chanting, they might also experience bliss. And that is why people who come, very new people, they feel so blissful. Am I right? People who come initially, oh, कहते हो आप कीर्तन में बड़ा मजा आया, हम तो पहली बार आए, okay, good, first time. How does he feel bliss? Krishna is giving them. And generally what happens when you start advancing, what will happen? What will happen? Krishna will take away bliss. You know why? Now Krishna will say, now you struggle. And own your own bliss. I have been giving you. Now you have to earn your own bliss. You have to become qualified. So generally that is going to happen. So bliss is not the way to judge whether you are at good chanting, or even if you are doing bad chanting, Krishna might give you bliss to encourage you. Otherwise you will leave it. So Krishna is working in different ways. So bliss is a side effect of chanting. It's not a symptom. Am I right? That's what Acharya says. Happiness, bliss, that's side effect. You don't see the medicine by side effect. Am I right? This medicine is good. Because why? Because I got side effect of diarrhea. And that medicine for tuberculosis, but tuberculosis didn't get treated, but I got diarrhea. Is it good? It's complete nonsense. Don't fall into that trap. This is the point we are looking for. Spontaneous remembrance. Until unless you don't get this, keep on practicing. Keep on refining your chanting. There's something wrong. In your mood, in your attitude, something is problem. Or maybe lack of practice. To chant more. Got my point? The second thing we are looking for is not happiness actually, but sorrow. Happiness is confusing. Sadness we are looking for in chanting. If you can become sad while chanting, that means you are having good chanting. Prabhupada says, you see the Nectar of Devotion. If you read Nectar of Devotion, everything is in Prabhupada's books, by the way. I'm not speaking from anywhere. So one of the function of this seminar is to encourage you, please read Prabhupada's books. Otherwise, you will go down, this movement will go down. You have to read Prabhupada's books. That's all. And encourage others to read it. Prabhupada says, in devotional service, without strong attraction to Lord, there may be sometimes smiling and other symptoms, but never stress or lamentation. So you see the point. Do you see that photograph? Kula Shekhar. You know King Kula Shekhar? King Kula Shekhar, he was a big devotee. He was hearing Ramayana. And suddenly he heard that Ravan kidnapped Sita. And he became so unhappy. And very angry. I will bring back. You see the point? That will never happen to us if we don't have proper. If your chanting is good and if you become attracted to Krishna, chanting means you becoming attracted to Krishna, then you will feel happiness in happiness of Krishna and sadness in sadness. You will feel sorrow when you are chanting, oh my Lord, I am so away from you. What about that? Krishna is there in chanting. That's okay. But you are where? You are in material world, you are not in spiritual world. So you will start feeling separation. You see? That's what we are looking for. That's what Mahaprabhu said. You will feel sorrow, Krishna. Krishna, you are there in front of me, but you have not accepted me. What about that? You see, when you come in front of deities, you feel happy because Krishna is there. But at the same time, you feel sad also. Because has Krishna accepted you? We don't know. Do you know Krishna accepted you or not? Who knows? He didn't tell us. If he would have accepted us, then he would have been talking to us. Am I right? But he doesn't talk to us. If I don't talk to you, then what that means? What that means? I'm happy with yours. My mood is off. So Krishna is happy with you, his mood is off. Yeah. But nevertheless, he smiles to encourage you. Yeah. But he is not really super happy. There's some problem there. He's avoiding. So that's with holy name. So that's So when you're chanting, there is Krishna there, but you're happy. But at the same time, you're sad because Krishna has not accepted you by them. And that is the cause of sadness. That's where devotees crying of a child, Prabhupada says, what's that? Is sadness or happiness? Then, was it crying of a child? No, that is happiness. No, that is sadness, right? So, and the third thing is, good chanting leads to more chanting and more service. That Prabhupada says. How shall I serve? That is a fact. You have to see by result. You become more enthusiastic to chant, chant, and chant, and chant, and chant. That is good chanting leads to more chanting. So, that's what is the seminar all about. Learn chanting by chanting. Chanting will make you expert in chanting. If you chant properly, with proper attitude, Prabhupada says, hold Krishna conscious to become an expert chanter. Prabhupada said that. So whatever we are doing in Krishna consciousness is to make our chanting perfect. That's all. And so I've told you why to chant, how do you know whether chanting is good or not. And now you have to chant. That's all I can chant for you. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. I think I have to finish here. So questions, I think afterwards you can take. Maybe one question I'll take and take.
Like the first point for
Prabhu, we have some books. Can you have?
Yeah, is there.
Okay.
really thank you so much for this good plan. The first point is that one should remember that Krishna is non-different.
One should remember Krishna is not different from Holy Lilia.
So is there any lower I need to say here? Because this thought.
This is the first thing. There is nothing below.
Because
First thing is chant and hear. That's for kindergarten. If you can't even hear what you're chanting, then but that's you have to get above that. First thing is you have to remember Krishna is his name is Krishna himself. That you have to practice. It will be difficult, but you have to make yourself remember again and again and again. Prabhupada says, pray, please engage me in your service. That's there. But that prayer will only happen when you will feel Krishna is there. Am I right?
Yes.
Otherwise, whom you are praying? So without this, nothing is going to happen.
this will not come naturally.
You have to practice. This you have to practice. You have to practice. Practice makes a man perfect. That's all. Okay, so now you have become expert chanter. All of you. So that's what I was telling. You have to. Okay, I have to just announce something. Just a minute. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki. I just wanted to.